Today is World Food Day. Currently, the problem is not one of availability but accessibility. That is, there is enough food available to feed the world, but many people cannot access it because they are too poor to buy food and they are malnourished. That is the situation in many areas where there is extreme poverty but without ethnic conflict. Now, some people think the solution to ensure availability of food, which is going to become more and more scarce with climate change, is to go in for very high-tech genetically modified seeds. Now, these young men here from Dublin, part of the Engineers Without Borders Ireland, with whom we are collaborating, have thought of another line of solution. That is, why can't everybody produce a little bit of their own food wherever they are? Am I right? Is that the idea?
Yeah.
So, who can produce some food using, what is this? What are you doing? This is a frugal, pro-poor innovation. So, what's the innovation?
So basically we want people to be able to produce food wherever and whenever they want, even if it's during a monsoon season.
So where there is a scarcity, where there is too much of water, is this okay if they don't have land and if they don't have that much water, will this also work?
Yeah, so we've designed the system so that it uses significantly less water than traditional farming. So it's a lot more efficient with water usage, but it also is a lot more efficient when there's too much water. So what we found being out here is people aren't able to grow crops during the monsoon because there's too much water. But with this system, they should be able to.
So this is, for me, okay. So can you explain what this is and what it can grow?
So this is a hybrid hydroponic system that uses a body of water and these styrofoam sheets and these plastic bottles, which are recycled, with a mixture of coconut husk and soil.
Yes.
As you can see, we've already started to spread some spinach, which is a great success. And so how it works is, these styrofoam sheets are placed on a body of water, and the water is automatically absorbed up through the bottom. So it requires zero maintenance for an ease of use. And this is very important because even if floods come, the styrofoam rises with it, so it's not affected by the floods.
So then you had made a prototype in Ireland. What changes did you have to make when you came here?
Yeah, so our initial prototype utilized different materials. So we were trying to make them out of MDF, and we were also trying to use vessels, these big blue barrels. But we very quickly found out that cost way too much. So that would be a major inhibiting factor for a small local farmer to be able to implement this system. So when we came out here, we did a search and we found really good cheap vessels and really good, easily sourceable, low-cost materials, which just opens up the usability of this system so much more to so many more people.
Yes. And so how did you find the adoption, the attitude of the locals to adopt this and try it out for food security?
So initially when we came over here, we had the intention to make 3 systems and implement them and monitor them. But after a few presentations and onlooking from the locals, we had an overwhelming reception, and now we've implemented 12 sites. So it's really good to see that people are really keen on approaching a new method of growing crops.
And this is not to fish for compliments, but I just wanted to ask both of you, did collaborating with Finn help in the setting up and the takeoff of the project in the village?
Absolutely, absolutely. Like having a local NGO and also just local members of the community that work with Friends in Need was imperative to the success of this. It really, really helped. I think with any project, it's about the people and having connections with the people, and really enabled this project to be more successful than it would have been otherwise. I think also as virtue to the grassroots nature of of friends in need and the local connections that they have, this really enabled that. So it's amazing help.
I must say, what was the role of Mr. Paranjoti in sourcing all this? Because we have to talk about the pearl.
He was invaluable. We couldn't have done it without him, because obviously with the language barrier and
the sourcing, because he went looking for your materials.
Yeah.
So I guess each of the stakeholders played a huge role. Also with Abhishek, who is taking the film of this this conversation. So it was a great collaboration, because the ideas really came from the students, and they were all out of the box. This was something noticed by everyone, that they wouldn't have thought of doing this if you hadn't given them the idea. And then another thing I really liked was that they were able to work with local materials and to redesign. We will be talking about their innovation in redesign next. Thank you and happy World Food Day, and let's look for more frugal innovations like this, because we need to make sure that everybody feels empowered, that they don't need to always go to the market to buy food. This can give us great sense of empowerment. So I just want to ask something which has nothing to do with the monsoons. Do you think this system can be grown in urban slums, where they have a little bit of water, not too much of water? Do you think you can have tomato plants and things in a larger disposable water can? Do you think that's possible?
I think it's very possible. It's something that we'd love to do to increase the variety of crops that can be grown with this system, and it's something that we will work on.
So you see a future for this kind of frugal innovation, going to just urban areas also, and growing essential things, because in India the fresh vegetables like tomatoes, garlic and onions are very costly, and they are something that are very good for the heat. And therefore it would be great if this could be continued, and we could grow also in waste bottles, other things, essentials for salads for the poor.
Yeah, 100%. I can see this on the vessel system, on a balcony, on a terrace, in a back garden, or even if you've no garden and just some concrete at the back. It's a very versatile system. So it depends just on the resources that you have and how much space.
So like we have a tiny system where it's just one pot in a 5-liter bottle. You could put that on a desktop in your office, all the way up to these massive sheet systems that you could fill an entire field with. So there's the versatility of the NutriCure is, I think, one of its key value propositions, and will be one of the key things that allows it to scale.
That is the name of their innovation, NutriCure. It's a cure for nutritional deficiency. So happy Food Day.